Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the game room. I am your host, Nick. We're going to talk some stuff here today. Xbox Direct just happened on Thursday, and we're going to discuss it. We've got some time to sit down here on this Sunday afternoon, early evening, with a good buddy of mine, Riles Becker, another fellow streamer over there. Thanks for joining, sir.
Hey, happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Nick.
Yes, always, man, always welcome. Um, it's been a time. It's been a time, being able to sit down
Yeah.
and finally talk about some Xbox stuff and just gaming in general. Um, that's kind of what you guys are going to get from the game room when it comes down to it here on the channel. Loud Thumbs Entertainment is just sitting down and just really just casual conversation, just a couple dudes chatting. And if you guys want to tune into it, we're over there live on Twitch, Loud Thumbs. You can find over there at Twitch. And yeah, we just follow over there. I'm trying to stream as much as possible. Just a small streamer in a big world. That's all. And Kelly is hashtag Riles Becker over there. Is things going better over there? Yeah, it looks like your stream is improving. Toss out some plugs, man.
Oh, hey, yeah. Just I try to stream as much as I can as well. Still work full time and all that stuff. Just got through kind of a rough couple weeks with work, with how cold it was getting and everything like that. So, but now I think we're back on the other side of the cold snap. So now free time's starting to pick back up for me a little bit. But we don't really stream in the evenings. Right now, we just started up Diablo 1, and so that's
Nice.
been a freaking blast going through that again. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. And then we're kind of like playing with some other different kinds of streams too. So we've been getting like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering packs, and just like doing live rips of packs on the channel as well. But nothing. We haven't gotten anything crazy, but we've gotten a few good solid polls. But anyway, it's just a lot of fun doing that, and just something a little different as far as content for the channel goes. And we're kind of testing the water, so to speak.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to do. That's the fun part about it, honestly, is just seeing where you land, where the groove hits, which part of it, you sit in comfortably, and enjoying it all at the same time is kind of cool. Uh, that's kind of the phase. You've been more consistent than me because just me and my palette of crap to do with the studio and stuff has built up over
Mhm.
time. So I'm hoping to get to that consistency level myself, streaming, and find that
Mm.
niche groove, as you would call it, I guess. Pick one. Um, but yeah, right now I'm doing the same kind of thing. I like talking about like collectibles and toys and TV and movie and all that stuff too. So I got some ideas bouncing around, and we'll be starting movie and television streams coming up too. My wife and I are going to sit down, just a simple little thing. We're just going to call it the couch here on the channel, and we're literally just going
Yeah.
to sit here on the couch and we're going to talk. We're going to talk movies and television mostly. She's not a big gamer, but that's fine. I got my boy around for that, and obviously we got fellow streamers like Kelly as well, coming on the channel and chatting too. So it's always fun to
Absolutely.
keep the community growing and just patting everybody else on the back as much as possible. But look forward to some movie and music and television stuff coming up. Um, that's we're big into all the entertainment stuff around here, so I wanna
Yeah.
incorporate as much of that as possible and just see what clicks. Gaming is always going to be number one for me, though. That's the obvious thing. Um, I just I never get enough of that kind of stuff. So I'll be
Yeah.
streaming plenty of that. Just streamed some Conquer Live and Reloaded, the Xbox version. So if you guys want to jump back and check that out. And then just on the YouTube channel, I just recently posted a full playthrough of the Deadpool game, and
Oh,
that was
nice. Cool.
that was pretty fun. Yeah, me and my son beat that one. Nice little short, bite-sized, fun experience. We beat it in about 5.5 hours, and just kind of mainlined it in a way. That game's
Yeah.
I think it's underrated. It was quite fun. It was quite hilarious as well. It fits the vibe 100% of Ryan Reynolds's Deadpool that we've all probably familiar with.
Yeah.
So check that out too. That's all up there at 1080p 60 on the YouTube channel. So everything on Twitch will show up on YouTube as well. So be sure to go over there and check that out if you guys want to watch it at a later time before it's kicked off Twitch. Twitch doesn't let us keep stuff forever. But yeah. All right. Well, hey, that's it. I just kind of want to get a plug in there for both of us there and kind of share the
Yeah.
channel and help us grow. Help us grow,
Yeah. Sure.
guys.
Sure. Sure.
Hit up
Cool.
Riles
Cool. Cool.
Becker. Hit up some Loud Thumbs. If you guys are listening on audio platforms, we'll do our best to describe whatever we're talking about here today. So we're mostly video guys, but I will be putting this on the podcast channels as well.
Cool. Yeah, I know you were talking about like maybe taking a step back from podcasts, but you're going right back into it. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely these sit downs with you and when I have it with family or whatever as well.
Hmm.
That will become podcast platform. If I see it's not getting consumed, I may have to dial back. You know what I mean? It does take
Yeah.
work. It's labor,
Yeah.
and I'd rather put that labor into more fun for myself and for everybody else to enjoy. Well, as far as I see, anyway, I think that's just more. It's just smarter.
Yeah.
Um, So, well, let's get into it. Here's kind of what I was thinking, man. You tell me if you like this idea, but kind of just give me overall thoughts on what you're thinking of the show in general for what it was, and then we'll flip over to individual games.
So I think that the the direct was a pretty good show. I feel like there were like between I think like all four of the games that they showed, well, five technically. Um, there's kind of like some common themes and threads that kind of intertwined all the games that they presented, but then each one kind of offered its own unique entry into the show as well. But I'm pretty excited for I think all these titles that they showed. I thought looked pretty solid, man.
Yeah. I think it hit I'm not grading the thing, but like at four of these games, three of them, I was like, yep, I'm good. Like I'm gonna
Yep.
play all of these. We'll get into the one and why the one may not hit for me, but we'll find out. I thought I called the Ninja Gaiden thing. I do know that. Like, I was trying to go
Hmm.
back and find which social media platform I did that on, and I couldn't find it, but it was out there somewhere in the ether. But it was like this surprise thing that's going to happen. I'm like, man, I just feel like Ninja Gaiden has been left behind by Xbox, and it gave it a second life back in the day, and then to see it start the show, I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't expect them to jump off right at the beginning with that, but boy, they went
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
same here. Yep.
They went for it, and I'm like, "Hey, you know what? That's good. I'm glad they did." Because it's a very popular series, and we'll talk more about it as well. But again, I
Mm.
think I kind of agree with you. I think each one of those games they did go over and show hit a certain like path or a certain group of people that play video games. But
Mm.
I think there's a certain amount of overlap in all of them as well. And as long as I don't forget, I'll talk about that as well before we get done with the show.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I think it was solid. I think they could have done with something maybe a little more casual. I don't think any of these games were casual, but that was probably going
I
to be
yeah.
my. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
definitely agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think maybe that was the only misstep with like just overthinking about the whole show.
Mm.
But I think that was it. I think that it hit solid markers for I think an Xbox audience. I'll put it that way.
Yep.
I think they did, and I think they showed where they can go forward and in the future. So overall, I think for being a minimal just for developers, I think they did really good. They hit at least a triple. You know what I mean? Not a home run, but they hit a triple. Well, let's kick it off with the first one, man. I think we're just gonna go in order here, and I'm actually gonna flip it over for our video audience and show some of the footage here. We'll just let it run in the background so everybody can check it out. But we're gonna kick it off with Ninja Gaiden. You can pretend how you want to say it, I guess. Oh, did you? Okay, that does happen sometimes, doesn't it? Right. Yeah, I've always been a Gaiden guy. I've never been the Gaiden guy. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. It's hard to say. But what did this game do for you, man? While I try and fix some video here.
Never beat the first one, but I beat the second one somehow. I have no freaking clue how that was even possible for young Riles to do, but he did it. Um, and then as far as all the newer ones, haven't touched them.
So you beat the
Haven't touched them.
original, you said.
The second one.
The
The
second one.
second one.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
The first one, no, I played it, but I never beat that one. But the second one, we were able to beat. Like I said, somehow I'm not really sure how that worked.
These games are hard as
Um,
balls for anybody listening that's
yeah,
never played them. They are
yeah.
real. They are the original like Souls like, and I feel like they're even harder than that, honestly. But that's just me. Continue, sir.
But yeah, and then like kind of going back to that thread also, I think it was during the Game Awards. I think they showed a side scroller Ninja Gaiden that they're working on, and I am
Yes.
100% like, yes, I will play that game and probably chug a controller, but it's fine.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
I think that's coming out
so
by the Celeste developer.
yeah, I think you're right. I
Yeah.
think you're right.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, as far as Gaiden 4, I thought it looked great. You know, it's like I want to play it. Looks like super quick. Looks kind of parry heavy, so that could be interesting. But it'll be one of the things I'm curious about is difficulty settings.
Okay.
Is I think Ninja Gaiden 2 Black that they just released. Um, I think that has a difficulty setting so that you can put it on easy if you just want to actually get through the game. Um, so,
Yes, and
but
I wanted
I
to speak
mean,
onto that now that you mentioned that because
yeah,
that's going to put me off of most of these games because difficulty settings and difficulty
right.
in games is I've just never been a fan of it. Like I used to be good at games, so believe me, but I'm with you, Kelly. I could never beat the first Ninja Gaiden. I remember getting to the tank multiple times and just throwing controller. It was the only game ever that I have literally thrown a controller in. Ever. Um,
Whoa, okay,
yeah.
I've done that a couple times.
I think we're all, if we're all, being honest, we're all true and guilty of that happening. But it's always been a very difficult franchise. And they did put in an option. I think you have to die 3 times, and then they will unlock something called dog something. They called it dog difficult dog ninja dog is what they call it. And that
Ninja Dog,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I don't quite get the name. I didn't look or bother to look up why that is, but you have to die 3 times in normal mode, and then you'll be given that option to play, which is kind of their easy mode. I didn't even know
Hmm,
that, and I'm gathering that they set this up after the fact. I don't think this was something you
yeah.
could get on the originals. So anyway, yeah, yeah. Continue, sir.
Yes, easy mode. Well, or some difficulty thing. Like I said, I know. I think Ninja Gaiden. I'm sorry, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black has a difficulty thing. But I don't know what they'll do with Gaiden 4. Yeah, easy mode for all games. I mean, I think it should exist.
Yeah,
Personally, and that it's okay. You know, it's all right. There's no harm in in saying, you know what, this is too freaking hard. I don't feel like getting mad right now. You know what I mean?
right,
I just want to
exactly.
enjoy playing a game. And sometimes games are just too difficult for the sake of being difficult, and that's kind of where I have an issue with that sometimes. There are some games I'll play like I expect this to be difficult, and so I'm okay with that. But there should be some accessibility in there for everybody.
Right. Yes, exactly. And yeah, I'm a big purveyor for that. Um, Yeah, sir, in chat. I need easy mode basically just want to watch a movie. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of games that have done that, and that's I have a little bit of hope. And sir, thanks for bringing that up because that actually really just tripped a memory. The game Near Automata, which is
Mm.
where we're getting Platinum Games is making this alongside of Team Ninja. They have a really automated mode, more or less, is what I want to call it, like a robot mode for Nier Automata. And I played Nier Automata. It's not, I don't think it's my kind of game.
Mm.
But I turned this mode on and it still allows you to feel badass, but at the same time, it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So it'll hit like your combos and stuff for you and other things like that. So it's extremely accessible for you to be able to play the game and enjoy it and, not feel like you're being destroyed constantly. So I have a little hope that maybe we'll get something like that for Ninja Gaiden 4. I hope because this game
Yeah.
looks fucking awesome. Like, I mean, it looks
Yeah.
so good. It looks much faster paced. There's a lot more mobility now with Yokomo. I think Yokimbo. Well, I wrote his name down here. Um, what was the protagonist's name? Uh, yeah, Yokumo or Yokumo. I don't know how you would say it, but it's Yokumo. And
Okay. Yeah, you're talking about the new protagonist and
yes,
not Ryu.
yeah, not yeah, exactly, not Hayabusa. But,
Hayabusa.
yeah,
Hmm.
like, he looks fun to play as, and I'm hoping we get a little bit of accessibility in these, and that's gonna be kind of a
Mm.
theme probably for this podcast, for this episode, because I feel like that might be a thing that, they're leaning a little too hard into is the difficulty in games, and I want accessibility in games. Absolutely do.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't think I could do it, because I 100% have the confidence in myself that I could do all of these things. The problem is, I don't have the time to do all these things because you have to rinse and
Yeah.
repeat for dozens and dozens and dozens more hours than normal before you can really get into it. Even if you get good, you're still going to run into more difficult stuff ahead of that that you're going to have to get good again on. So, anyway,
Mm.
yeah, that's my piece of that. I just hope, seeing as Platinum has done this in their other games, maybe they'll do it for us in this game too.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
definitely stylized, man.
oh yeah,
I think Ninja Gaiden looks great.
yeah, absolutely does. And then I think, I mean, yeah, I got mega stylized down as one of my notes here. The two protagonists I think is cool. That's totally new
Mm.
to the entire genre of this game, or to the franchise. Not really the genre, but it is going to be one of those. Maybe love or hate, I don't know, like, there was the whole Metal Gear comes to mind, Metal Gear 2, when they threw, Raiden in there with,
Mm.
Snake, and then there was really divisive, and a lot of people were upset
Yeah.
about it. I don't know
Yep.
if that's gonna be this way because I don't live in this world of Ninja Gaiden, much, as cool as it is, and I love, Japanese lore and everything that they pull off and how badass that they look. I just don't know if that's gonna be a thing or not, but it makes me wonder. But the multiple fighting styles I thought was cool. It almost reminded me of the
Mm.
stances that maybe you got from Ghost of Tsushima. Um, it kind of gave me that feeling because they do talk about. It's actually talking about it on video right now with Yokumo has two combat styles that he'll be able to utilize based on what enemy they are. So you have to adjust your fighting style based on that enemy, and I think that's cool. So I like when they do that. It gives you a chance to uh, just make the game feel a little bit different, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. Right after that, they decided to come out and tell us about Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Um,
Yes.
I've never played any of the Black. Have you played like Sigma Black or anything like that from the first ones at all?
I
Okay.
have not played any of the newer Ninja Gaidens. Only the old NES ones. That those are the only ones I've played. So I've got it set up right now that once I finish Diablo, my mission is to then go to Ninja Gaiden Sigma and then just plow through, and so we're ready for Ninja Gaiden 4.
Okay.
That's the plan.
I have heard because I've been doing research because I really want to play these games as well. And now I know that they have that
Mm.
difficulty slider. At least if I got to go in and die 3 times real quick to be able to finish the game, I'll do that. I'm going to die 3 times
Fine,
anyway.
whatever.
But if they the research and the pro tips I've been told is to start with this Black 2 remaster, the Sigma or
Mm.
the Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, um, and then jump back if you like this one and can get through this one, jump back to 1 and then
Oh, really?
yes, and then continue down the path. I don't
Interesting.
know if that has something to do with story as well, but from what I understood, it has something to do with the actual like approachability of the game versus the original, because the original is much harder. So it sounds like they kind of dumbed the difficulty down on purpose on the second one, and it wasn't as hard as the first one. It sounds like it maybe because you said you did beat the second one then, right? But never the first.
Yeah, NES, yeah.
Oh, NES. Okay, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Not
yeah,
Xbox. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
No, no, no.
I was discussing Xbox, so we were
Old
on two
school.
different. Yeah, yeah. I didn't go that far back. I've only touched like a couple of seconds worth of that game on anything, and it was not enough to say that I loved or hated it. I've only played the Xbox version of this game, so
Yeah,
but it
I
looks
have
gorgeous.
not tried. Yeah, absolutely. And I think like they said Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, that was UE5. So
Yeah.
that's kind of rad too. So I'm very very interested.
Yes, I thought that was super cool. And now you can play as multiple characters from the game as well. There's not just Ryu to play as. There's two or three other characters in the game that are now playable as throughout the entire gameplay, which I thought was kind of
Well,
cool.
that's pretty rad. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rad.
Um, I
What
think
if the
this.
story changes with each character? That could be kind of cool. Like
Well, it
there's
could
different
be.
dialogue.
That would be cool. Actually, I didn't even click on that at all. That would make sense if they could pull that off. That would be really sweet. And redoing the whole game in Unreal, there's a good chance they could have done some coding to make that happen too. That'd be added replay value. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't mention anything whether or not there'd be different fighting styles or anything like that, but
Mm.
so Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is out now, so you guys can check that out on Game
Yeah.
Pass. And the fourth Ninja Gaiden will be out this fall, so it'll give everybody a chance to go in and grab them because the Sigma collection is on Game Pass right now too. I went in
Yes.
and like
Yep.
whatever you do, you can play later, all those things you can do on Game Pass to check it out. So um, Xbox will definitely end up getting me for Game Pass for quite a bit longer, all things considered now,
Yeah,
because
little. I mean, like last year was pretty strong, but I feel like it's even stronger this year. I mean, you have Avowed in
yep,
what
what, a month?
a couple weeks? I
I
think
think
I think it's like mid Feb,
okay, it's after Valentine's Day. I know that. I think it's like a couple days before my
the
birthday, which is like
18th.
the 20. Okay, yeah, yeah, that sounds right. Because it's I knew it was within a week of my birthday, which is on a weekend this year. So I was like, oh, okay, cool,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, that looks cool as well. But yeah, I picked up 3 months of Game Pass for like I was like dirt cheap. I ended up getting for like $7 a month. So I was like,
That's pretty good.
yeah, and it's like the ultimate version too. So it was like a big savings. Um, but it ends like I think the week that the next game we're about to talk about comes out, like the first week of April.
Oh
so
no.
so I was like, you bastards. It's like I knew this was gonna happen, but yeah, that's just how it goes. Okay, so off to a good start, honestly. I mean, they're going to be hard
Yeah.
games, but the Ninja Gaiden games is off to a very good start for Xbox Direct. Moving into the next one here, this is the south
Honestly,
of.
like one more thing.
Oh yeah, go for it.
One more thing. I think the crazy thing about Ninja Gaiden is that I guess they've been working on that game for 6 or 7 years or something like that, and like no, nobody knew anything
Yeah, that's pretty
about it.
wild.
That blows my mind. Like Phil Spencer was like, "Yeah, we've been working on this for 6 or 7 years." Like that's fucking insane. Like that blew my mind that there's nobody that knew that this game was going to be coming out this year. You know what I mean?
Right, with the world of
So
leaks.
like GG's for that. Anyway, that's the last thing on Ninja Gaiden that I thought
Yes.
was cool.
Moving on to South of Midnight. This one, man. I mean, quick notes for me that I have down here on it are uh art style is the first thing that stands out big time. It
Yep.
looks amazing. It looks unique. It looks different. Um, that's like the biggest focal for me. I have a plenty of other little things I want to talk about as we go down this one here, but um, what's this land on your radar? Is this something you even think you'll be interested in checking out, or for any reason?
I will 100% check this game out.
Sweet.
It's so like you said, the art style. I like that they kind of use this stop motion style of
Yeah.
um for the presentation of the game, but there's also it's not all stop motion either. So it's not like they're saying, "Hey, maybe if we do stop motion, maybe we can get away with doing 30 frames a second, and people won't complain about it." But there's like the characters are maybe moving in stop motion, but the environment isn't. Like everything's like super smooth. Like whenever we get to some combat, like you'll be able to see that for sure. When your character will like dodge, and it's like that is a super fluid motion, but then the rest of everything is kind of like this cool stop motion claymation like type of thing. It's like we're looking at a even more twisted Tim Burton or something like that. That's kind of like what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think this game, the music's awesome. Like I really dig the music style. All the monster and boss concepts look really cool and different and unique. And maybe like the combat's like a little different too. It's not your standard, hey, here's my sword. I'm gonna go smack this thing until it dies. Like you're kind of using like a magic focal, which I know has been like maybe done like a little bit here recently, a little more often, but I feel like it's not quite done enough. I think mostly
Hmm.
everything you play is like, hey, here's this dude with an axe, here's this dude with a sword, and he's just beating the shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're kind of like doing a different type of combat focus as well to make that a little different too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, going into that and just the overall lore of the game, for me, this game really speaks and looks, and even the combat looks a lot like a game called, it was called Kena Bridge of Spirits. It was a very early on PS5, PS4 title. It was one of those possible next gen games that ended up, getting a life on the PS4 as well. Um, I played that game all the way through, finished it. It is very much living in the world of a Souls like. Um,
Mm,
it is a little bit more tame, more approachable, not as bad a run backs and things like that were happening. I enjoyed it a lot. I really want this game to play like that game because it was like the best happy medium I've had in a combat game in a long, long time.
mhm.
I'm worried that it's going to lean real hard into the Souls like though. That is one of my big bullet points for this game. And I actually made a short video on the TikTok channel and got people talking about it because it was funny. You mentioned accessibility and difficulty at the very beginning of the episode here, and a lot of people agree. Like, there should just be an option for easy in every game so that everybody can enjoy these things, which will therefore
Mhm.
then obviously it's going to make them more popular. It's going to allow the developers to make more games like them and so on and so forth. But I don't know what to think of this game yet because I haven't got to feel how it plays. And
Yeah.
they've showed a lot of the combat and it looks really good and it looks a lot like an action RPG would do combat. It doesn't look like there's a ton of souls type stuff happening. They didn't mention anything about like losing power ups or having to restart or anything like that. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. But there's just some weird feeling of mine, like because Kena Bridge of Spirits was the same way. Like people were like, "Man, this looks like a Disney Pixar game." And it looks amazing and I want to play it, and they bought it and they thought it was going to be this simple kind of game, and it wasn't. Like it was actually really hard at times. I remember the
Oh, really?
second, oh
Mm.
yeah, the second to last boss took me several tries to get through. Um and it just felt like a totally different game when it got to the end. Almost like they dialed back the rest of the game and didn't have time to do that at the end. But um, they both seem like they come from a similar DNA too, because this game is a lot of like past and folklore, and things that have, been demonized that were human, and you're having to free them, because you're a weaver,
Mhm.
and whatever that means. They didn't really talk a whole lot about what that means, which I'm glad. Don't want them ruining it. But
Right. Yeah.
whatever you're doing with these weaving abilities that have been given to you feels like you're going to somehow try and bring the world back to normality again or something. And that's kind of what you did in the Kana games as well. You basically put spirits to rest, is what you
Mm.
did. um I love 98% of everything they've showed about this game. The story looks awesome. I love the art style. That stop motion you mentioned is on
Mm.
point. It looks fantastic, and it's happening in like your cutscenes, so it really has a time to shine. And then the combat looks so smooth and fluid, and all the enemies and stuff look unique and different. They don't look like they've just been ripped out of other games or tweaked in the slightest. They look
Right.
completely new.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge alligator we saw on the screen that looked like a huge boss battle that looks amazing. Um,
Yep.
this game, out of the all of the games that have been shown, is the number one for me on the list that I want to play, because it
Hmm.
looks the most different and the most unique out of all of them. And it looks like it's going to be riddled with story and folklore, and I love folklore because it allows me to learn, and I get to learn by also playing, and that's kind of like a beautiful combination for me personally.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one topped the show for me. This was my number one game of the show. After we got to
All
see
right.
all of
Cool.
it, I was definitely ready to check this game out. I was hoping for a day one drop or something, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah. Well, we're getting it April 8th though, which is still not terribly far away, so I'm excited about that.
No.
This game, honestly, and one other one, is the reason why I'll continue to keep my Game Pass for at least a couple more months after it launches. So yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I really, really thought this game looked cool. Any more on South of Midnight for you, sir?
I know. I remember them talking at one point during that show too, where they were saying that as far as the combat goes, they were talking about all the different variation that you'd
Okay.
be able to do, and then like maybe it you could make the combat as complicated maybe as you wanted to. Whereas, so if you just wanted to maybe like what it sounded like to me, if you just want to like button mash and get through the combat, hey, you can do that. Or if you want to like take advantage of like hitting their weaknesses and then like doing, you like pull the bad soul out of their body, and then you get like damage buffs and stuff like that. So it sounds like maybe you might have a difficulty scaling there too. We'll just have to see how that goes, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I rewatched the whole direct today, and I know what you're talking about, and yeah, it gave
Yeah,
me a little bit of rethinking, like, ooh, maybe that would be
yeah,
nice.
maybe.
Yeah, I would love that. So I'm excited for that one. Next on the list, Expedition 33. This one, I think out of the pair of us, this is absolutely your game. Um, I don't know. I haven't seen you play a lot or talk a lot about turn-based games, so I don't know 100% of that in your background. But for me, turn-based games are a big turn off.
Hmm.
So hit me with what you think on Expedition 33, man. What's this game doing for you?
So Expedition 33, I thought looked pretty cool. Storytelling looks like it's gonna be pretty neat, which that's like narrative is a huge plus for me when it comes to turn based, because that's like unless you're just a fiend for turn based combat, like it's really the narrative that pushes me through. Like I gotta find out what happens next.
Agreed.
Um, so and I think like the narrative for Expedition here is gonna be pretty cool. It sounds a little different as far as you're not necessarily fighting something that is gonna destroy the world or whatever. It's different. So I'm not really sure like how they're gonna really vilify like what's happening. So I'm kind of curious to see what direction the narrative goes. But I feel like visually stunning. It the here's a yeah, little snippet of the combat there, and it just looks super stylized for turn based. It reminds me of a game that came out for Xbox 360 called Lost Odyssey.
Okay.
There were lots of kind of quick timey ish events that you would do like during the combat, so that you you stay engaged, so you're just not simply just like, hey, okay, do that, and then you're waiting. Instead, you're like you're having to hit like the your A button at the right time to do more damage, or maybe you're having to hit another button for parrying or blocking or dodging or whatever. So yeah, I think the way the combat is going to be set up is going to be sure it's going to be turn based, but with like a little something a little extra added to it. Um, I want to say I don't remember who all the voice actors are, but I thought they actually had like a pretty good cast of
Oh,
voice
really?
acting too, like people you know who they are. Um, but I can't remember like any of the names like right now off the top of my head. But you go, oh, I know that actor, or oh wow. So I'll have to look that up at some point again and refresh my memory. But yeah, I think this one is, and it's not all doom and gloom either. It looks like there's some humor in there too,
Mm-hmm.
which I appreciate that as well. But we'll just have to see. It also kind of reminds me like with the way the menu system is set up during the fighting as well. It's like it reminds me of Persona,
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
Persona's more of a comic book vibe, whereas this is more. It's like it's cleaned up and everything's like just looks really nice as far as presentation. Not that Persona 5 didn't look really nice, it did, but in its own comic book way. Whereas this is like more of a maybe an adult version of that, and that's kind of what it looked like to me. Whereas Persona 5 is awesome. I just that is a huge time investment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a
I can't do them because
huge
of
time
that
investment.
reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is definitely a game
Yep.
for kids in high school or whatever, or they got plenty of time to come
Yep.
home after school and do their homework, and then they just play games for 8 hours a day. After that, and they go to bed at 2 a.m. and they get up at 6, and they don't need sleep and all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Screw that
absolutely.
sleep.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Or that's the only game that they're gonna have for 6 months, like, "Hey, this is
Same.
this is all you get, kid." Like, "All right, I guess I'm putting 400 hours into this."
Right.
But
Yes.
anyway.
Um, yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said there. The turn-based part is what does turn me off, but
Mm,
uh, the game it reminded me of when you mentioned this thing, and they obviously mentions it in the trailer too, or the direct, was the action, within turn-based, the real-time stuff going on. Was Legend of Dragoon did that? That was the first
mm,
turn-based game I ever played that, well, not ever played, but that had that in it. I started liking turn-based games when I had a roommate who got me on to Final Fantasy, and I played Final Fantasy X to the finish. I enjoyed it. I only loved it because of the story. I didn't love the gameplay.
yep,
And then this Legend of Dragoon came out. He's like, "Dude, you got to try it." And I tried it, and I did like the gameplay of that one, but that one's a long one. Like
yeah.
it's like 4 discs on the PS1, guys. It's a lot. So yeah, that kept you engaged, which I did like that. The thing about story you said though, that's 100% me. That is exactly where I wanted to go with it. Was I'm I don't want to dislike it. I'm so happy they're coming to Game Pass so I can give them all a chance.
Mm,
But this turn-based thing and the menu system looks super convoluted and super just difficult to understand probably. It's going to take a lot of time to figure it out. It kind of turns me off of wanting to even try the game. I'm still going
mm,
to. I know I will because of the story. This whole concept that like the reason it's called Expedition 33 is because every year this witch shows up and lowers the number, and then anybody who's over that age dies. So
yeah.
essentially, when it hits zero, no one lives anymore. So at some point, you got to figure you got to stop that from happening. Um, and I love that concept. That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's different. Um, and I mean, the game looks amazing. And this is like the first time these people have made a game. Um, that blows my mind. I have no idea how this group of people have made this game look this way. Um, and then you mentioning voice actors that are well known is cool too. I did not know that. But it looks like it definitely has a group of people that are passionate about what they're doing behind it, which usually puts out amazing product because they're not doing it for the money. And I'm excited to see what happens with it. obviously people who like numbers just, thrown up on screen every time you're destroying something is it's gonna please you because there's plenty of that happening. Um, but the menu systems scare me the most. The turn-based part is the least of my worries with this one, but when I saw them come up and say that there are like hundreds of passive abilities, I was just like, I don't have time to go through 100 different abilities and read what they all do to decide if I need to use them. Um, so if they're passive abilities, I'm gonna assume they're not gonna matter too terribly that much, but it still was like
Yeah, there was a
a
bunch
worry
of
of mine.
passive abilities. It was
Oh yeah, man. I mean, they're
crazy.
up on the screen going through the menus and stuff
Yeah,
right
I
now
was
on
like,
them, but it
"Holy
was
crap."
just, I mean, there's 20 different like ability upgrades for your character by itself, and then on top of that, you have all of these passive upgrades that happen. And you're managing four characters. So let alone you have 80 different upgrades for the four characters, and then on top of that, you have, yeah, I don't know if it's 100 per character or if it's 100 total, but still that's a lot to manage. Now that's great for people who love it, but for me, I would just love to have one of them like, okay, this is what you should select. This will help you get through. Um, I'm lazy like that. I'll just be totally honest. I like something that's auto, you know what I mean? Like if I don't even remember what the game was, but there was literally a game I remember that you could go in and you could tell it to select the best of everything you had. You could literally just hold triangle. It was either triangle or Y, and it would literally just, it would upgrade you, put you to the point where it had the right armor on, it had the right setup going, and then your fighting style
Hmm.
never changed. You just went in and played. And I really wish I could remember what that game is right now off the top of my head, but I can't. But that's more the style I like.
Yeah.
Now, the caveat is these are on Game Pass, and I'm going to try them. I want to check them out. Um, but this game, it looks really neat. It's different than I
Yeah.
thought it was. I never looked into it before when I heard people talking about it, and it ended up like fully impressive. I mean, it has a full open, overworld map and everything you walk around on, and a dude that like flies you around from place to place, and it's a super unique art style. Again, a lot like South of Midnight, but
Yes.
I'm gonna give it a chance. There's no doubt I'll give it a chance, but it looks a little bit taxing for my gameplay style, maybe, but I'm hoping I'm
It,
wrong.
it it could be. It could be. I was back to the skills thing when they're talking about that. Made me think of Path of Exile.
Oh,
I don't
yes,
know if
that's
you've ever
exact.
seen.
I've seen it, yes, and it worries me.
It's like you need a PhD in Path of Exile in order to play it. But but that actually kind of like I appreciate things like that because my run could be like totally different than somebody else's. So
Oh,
I like
sure.
when they do stuff like that.
Oh, I
'Cause,
fully can
I'm
appreciate it. It's just not my style.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the coin where there you have all these different builds that people, hey, you should do this, this, and this. I like to try to, unless I get totally freaking stuck, but I like to try to go, hey, let me, I want to do this, and not really focus on the metas or whatever, you know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yep.
But so a quick, just a quick look at the cast. So you have Charlie Cox, who is Daredevil.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
He's one of the voice actors, and then you have another one, Ben Starr. He was
Oh, yeah.
for
He was
Final
in.
Fantasy
Yep.
16,
Yep. He was
and
Clive.
then like one that super impresses me is Andy Serkis is a
Oh,
freaking voice for the game too.
nice. That's
So
Gollum,
anyway,
everybody, if you're not familiar,
that is one. Lots of cool
among other
stuff.
things.
But so great. So I'm not really sure. There's probably like a couple more names, but so you already have like super or three like big personalities there as far as voice acting goes. But yeah, all the skills, like I don't really recall paying too much attention to the music for this one. I think I was just more focused on what was happening on the screen for this. Whereas
Yeah.
I feel like South of Midnight, they really put that in your face, like the
Yeah.
music
I totally forgot to
that you
bring
could
that
you could
up.
like
That's
hear.
one of my notes. The music, the way they said it builds in South of
Yeah,
Midnight. That sounds
yeah,
so cool. Like as the music continues, like it'll just be like thumps and tunes, and then all of a sudden it'll get into like a full like chorus of music, and then as you keep
Yeah.
going, it'll end up with lyrics, and and I think that's really cool too. Yeah, I had in my notes here, and I just totally didn't mention it.
But yeah, we'll definitely try this one. This might be one of those that I actually try to stream to. I like, as far as like a lot of the new releases, I don't normally gravitate towards them, but I feel like
Hmm.
this is going to be one of those that doesn't get the publicity that it deserves. I bet.
Yeah,
You'll have some people streaming this, but it's not going to be a super popular one, I don't think. So that is probably why I will be streaming this one for sure.
yeah. That's a solid point. And yeah, I plan on probably at least trying all of these, and probably will toss up a stream or two, to just share the love a little bit and get them out there and get them in front of people. Whether I love the
Mhm.
game or not, it might get somebody else inspired to check it out and play it.
Yep.
Or maybe people will tune in and help me not suck at them, and that's a good thing too. Yes.
There's always that. Every
There's
once in a while, you'll get somebody super cool comes into chat and say, "Hey, stupid, why are you doing it like that?" Oh, that's
right,
my bad. Okay,
right, exactly. Yeah, you can call me stupid. I'll still get it
it's
done.
fine. Yep, it's fine. Yeah, you are right. You are right.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. This one's also another April release, so we're getting this April 24th. Um, so I mean, I'd be
my
able to check
one
them
my
both out in
one
1 month.
complaint.
Yep.
My one complaint. There isn't enough time from South of Midnight to this one. There just isn't enough. And it's like that's one of those things is like man, why won't Xbox like come out with any games? You're like, oh, you're waiting. And now all of a sudden like, whoa, slow down, slow down. Give me a little
Yeah.
time to digest the game you just released, man. But anyway, it's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And the fact that they'll stick on there in their day one,
Yeah.
Xbox Studio titles are nice. I mean, not legit Xbox Studio titles, but they're under their realm, I guess.
Yep.
And to end it off, there's a big one. There's a big one to end it off. Doom: The Dark Ages is coming May 15th. This thing, oh man, we got to get it up on screen for some people. But this game, holy crap, this game. Um, this is the second one that's gonna keep me on Game Pass that I mentioned earlier. South of Midnight's gonna get me in there, and I'm gonna stick around to play this in May because they're only a month apart. Um, holy,
I
holy
freaking
shit!
just love this.
Yeah,
I
it's
freaking just
like
love it.
this was the one that my son got wind of, and he come out and he's like, "Dad, Doom: The Dark Ages, they got new gameplay." And I'm like, "Yep, saw the direct today, bud. We'll go here and check it out." So we sat down and watched it, and he was only watching a 2-minute trailer. I'm like, "No, you need to go to the direct and watch the 15 minutes worth of everything they're going to talk about because it looks
Mm,
amazing."
yep.
Um, I'm not the biggest Doom guy as far as like, playing Doom and being this hardcore fan of it and stuff. I enjoy them. I think they're a lot of fun. Um, but I'm in no realm of hardcore with them at all. I just think they're fun games. I think Eternal, it was a lot of fun, but it raised the difficulty to a point where I never finished that game. Um, this looks like it's going to get to the realm of kind of harkening back to its original Doom days, keeping you on the ground, letting you strafe, block, and dodge, and I'm excited about it. It looks like a lot of fun, and I need this. We're not getting a Halo game. We're not getting a really ballsy all to the wall first person shooter anytime soon that I know of. And this looks like it's gonna fill a nice void in May. I can't wait for this to come out because it's gonna be a ton of fun.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, all of that. I just looking at that gameplay just like puts a huge smile on my face, dude.
Yeah.
So here is here's my big takeaway. So what I thought was really cool that they did with this one was they have difficulty sliders.
Yes,
So
I'm
like
glad you're bringing
let's
it up.
say like it's like, man, I want the speed of Doom 2016. Like, hey, you can do that. You can raise the speed of the game so that you're moving around a lot faster and it's more bullet hell. Um, one of the things that I'm really glad that they did is it's like Eternal. Like I liked Eternal, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the mobility of Eternal. Like it seemed like it was more of a platformer,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
just, you know,
A
I don't know.
lot of jumping and a lot of
It
falling
didn't
and
didn't
doing it
sit well.
again.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really happy that we're seeing that as a departure, and it's more of a classic Doom game. Um, but I love like all the new weapons.
Yeah.
So like really
Three melees.
the only one that we recognize would be the double barrel shotgun. I like everything else is new. Like
Mhm.
that spike gun, like that just thing looks just freaking awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
it
I
does.
love the way the spike gun looks. And then
The
yeah,
shield.
all the melee stuff, the shield looks just dude, I think this is gonna be a great time.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be a great time.
Yeah, and
And
that's what we need.
the music,
Oh, the
yeah,
music, man.
music's
That
freaking
heavy metal
fantastic.
music, yeah, is a rocking game to listen to for sure.
I'm I miss I miss Mick Gordon, but yeah, I think they've got somebody pretty good making the music here. So
Yeah, I would
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'd be hard pressed to tell you that it wasn't him, to be honest with you. Yeah, I didn't even know he was
Mm,
gone.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, there was
awesome.
like some drama with Doom Eternal, I think, and
Oh,
then it was like
always is.
no no more Mick Gordon. So I'm not really sure what he's doing. I wish him the best, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, this thing looks great. The shield with the abilities to kind of turn into like a grappling type deal was cool. I didn't see that coming. You chuck it across the bridge and then you jump and then you
yeah,
latch back onto it and pulls you across the bridge. That's really neat.
yeah,
That was cool. The difficulty sliders, you absolutely said that's 100% where I'm totally I want that in everything. That was a conversation my son and
mm,
I had because him and I very much agree that, as well as you, that everything should have some sort of an option to, be accessible, enjoyable for everybody. And this was an amazing thing. I did not see coming from them. I thought, oh shit, I'm not gonna play this. It's gonna be just as hard as Eternal or more, and I just can't do it. But they're doing it. They're making it to where you can just jump in and you can slow down everything or speed up everything. I thought that was
yeah,
amazing. So definitely a welcome addition. But man, they haven't got to it yet. But the gameplay. I mean, I could just sit here and talk random garbage until this gameplay just to watch it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean the shield and then the final takedowns are cool because you can get different ones with different melees and they'll happen
yeah,
differently based on each enemy and stuff too, which is pretty cool. Um, and yeah, actually, right now here on video, if you guys are watching, they're talking about the sliders. But yeah, I mean, you can
yep,
change the parry windows and the dodge windows and everything. So it's very cool. Um, much respect for that. I hope that becomes something that's just more adopted because you can just make the game really nuts hard and go on and make a stream where you want to stream the game with all the sliders maxed out because I mean that'd be nuts, you know what I mean? Or I guess
yeah,
depending on what it is, you don't want your parry window maxed out if you're going to do that. You want to shrink all of those windows and
yeah, yeah.
increase everything else. But
Make
now
it as hard as you can, but
right, exactly. And now they're talking about the mech and then the dragon, man. Like this, I saw the dragon a little bit on some previous, like sneak peeks and stuff. The mech thing, I don't think I saw at all. And I mean, you give
yeah,
me a mech and anything, I'm there for it. I am there for it. Mech with railguns,
um,
hell yeah.
the friggin' yeah, the huge Gatling gun. Yeah, that was it's like Pacific Rim, but
Yes.
Doom. Yeah, so I'm in.
Yes.
I'm in.
Yeah, and you can
I'm
even kick
so
them. You
in.
know what I mean? Maybe you can be kicking these
Mm,
bastards off ledges and stuff too. I mean, that's great. Kicking inside the mech. It definitely did scream Pacific Rim for sure.
yeah.
And nothing wrong with that. I'd take a Pacific Rim video game if they had it.
Mm,
The dragon looked cool. The worlds I have down here too. That it's kind of sandboxy, but not sandboxy. They're just really big
yeah.
individual levels. That was definitely a welcome addition to see. I thought we get that sometimes here and there with some. I mean, Master Chief. He got it in Infinite, which was pretty cool, an
Yep.
open world FPS. So it's kind of neat for them to look at that maybe and kind of steal a little bit from that basket and take it with them and still have at individual levels, but they looked enormous, especially when you're in the mechs and the dragons. I mean, those worlds have to be huge with as big
Yeah.
as your characters are. So, um, let's see. I mean, I mean, my stuff, I just wrote down so fast because I was just so excited to see it again. But I mean, it was just badass protagonist is back. You know, the cutscenes tell the story this time, which is cool. They're not in codex. They did make it a point to tell us
Mm,
that. So I
yep,
was
yep,
really
that's
happy
correct.
to see that. I'd much rather hear and see my story than read it. That's just me. But yeah, this just looks like a blast. I mean, they just put so many enemies in front of you and they just say, kill them all. We've given you everything to do it. So go have fun.
Yep, rip and tear until it's done.
Yeah, it just looks like a hella fun video game. That's just really all it comes down to. This was definitely my number 2 of the show. I didn't see us
Mm,
getting a super deep, show of this game. I thought, we'll get to see some of it, but they really went all in to show us all the details of it. It was pretty sweet.
yeah, this is my number one.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Yeah, totally worthy to be a number 1 on the list for
Yep,
sure. Yeah, it looks fantastic. It looks like it's going to be a ton of fun.
yep,
Um, But I think that's it for the show. As far as
yeah,
talking it over, they kind of ended things there and let everybody know they're coming soon. The Doom team is large too. That id team that was making that was a very large team. They showed all of us.
yeah. What was that the steady cam, like when they're all like
Yeah,
going into
walking.
the auditorium or wherever they're all at, and
Yeah,
where they do the date reveal. Like that was pretty cool.
yeah, that was
Get
cool.
a an understanding for the scope of the team there. So Doom, South of Midnight Expedition, and then Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Those are all quarter 1 and quarter 2. And then I think Gaiden 4
Yeah,
is
fall.
quarter 3
Yeah,
fall.
fall.
Um so I mean it's kind of crazy to think about too. Like, well, what else is coming out this year?
All
You know?
right.
So Fable, I think Fable's like a possibility this year. So
Yeah,
that's still that could still happen, but it's like dang, like this is just the first part of the year for Xbox. So that's kind of rad. And something else too. So like I think Doom's gonna be on all platforms. I think the only one that was gonna be Xbox exclusive would be South of Midnight, I believe.
okay.
I'll have to fact check that. I think it's all the games are coming out on all the platforms, I think.
Interesting.
Um
Well,
so
I'm not.
that's kind of interesting too, but
I did not know South of Midnight was an exclusive. Um,
I think
I am gonna check that while we are here chatting. Um,
I agree, written. Hey, good to see you.
hey, written. Um, Xbox Series X, Windows PC, Steam, and cloud. Uh,
I think all of Xbox's stuff comes to
yeah,
Steam as well, but I
yeah,
think I'm pretty
yeah.
sure
There's
Dark Ages is all platforms.
there's literally
Um
nothing about it on anything for PlayStation on here at all. So it looks like it will just be PC and Windows.
for South of Midnight, yeah.
Yeah.
I think everything else is going to be everywhere. Um Like, is Avowed gonna be everywhere too, or is that just PC and Xbox?
I thought Avowed was gonna be a limited. Um, if
It'll
I'm
start off and then it'll eventually make its way to all the other platforms. But yeah, I mean the I feel like the direction and uh what Xbox is doing as far as like making almost all their games like, hey, you can play it wherever you want,
Yep.
kind of thing. That's interesting. It's an interesting tactic in for what's going on, and I would love for Sony to kind of loosen up a little bit
Yeah.
and start thinking that same way too, because at least put all of your games on fucking PC. Just please do that,
Yeah.
all of them, and not years later. But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you,
Xbox said
chat.
no
Yeah, no
gatekeeping.
no gatekeeping. Chat says, yeah, absolutely. What was everybody in chat? What was your guys's top game from this direct? I'm curious. I want to know what everybody thinks on that. hit us with that real quick when you get time. But yeah, man, I just think I think Xbox is doing the right thing. Obviously, South of Midnight for sure. Hell yeah,
Mm,
man, I'm with you.
yeah.
I just got done talking about that too. That was my number one of the show. Um, Expedition 33 was up there for you. Okay, yeah, that was my bottom of the show, honestly. So I'm hoping to be proven wrong. I'm really hoping to be proven wrong on that one.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic though. It really, really does. I get so sad about it more often than not, where it's just I want to play these games, but there's something about them that I just can't get past, every time.
Yeah.
So, um, but that you know what I thought that was going to happen when I played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy VII Remake as well, and I enjoyed. I haven't finished Rebirth yet, but I am enjoyed what I'm doing on those right now. But
Yeah.
um, we'll see. I'm super curious on it as well, but and it won't be too long. We'll be checking them out, so that's exciting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was a good show overall for sure. Um, I think Xbox knows what they're doing now as far as like keeping things kind of concise, um, and just like chat says here, letting the developers kind of shine. Like that's a developer direct for a reason. Show them, let people see their passion and who they are as a
Mm.
developer and not as a business. Just trying to make money. So I like these for that reason. Um, and there's more to see. That's the other part. I really like to see the game. I do enjoy seeing the background of all of them too, but yeah, that's just kind of how it goes for me.
Oh, there you are. You're back. Okay, never mind.
Oh, we had us like, yeah, I saw you like you just paused for a
Little
second.
hiccup. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't hear what you were saying, so I
Oh,
was like, oh
weird,
no.
weird, weird. Yeah, I was basically just saying that I like it, that they you can see these directs for the developers shining on the developers, allowing you to have a chance to, see what they do and not
Yeah.
just about the money. And then on top of that, you're able to see more of the games. They let you delve in and really be able to see more of what's going on in the backgrounds,
Yes.
but also see the game in action, which is exciting to me.
Yes. Definitely. I think they're doing a pretty good job with their directs as well. I agree with that. And it kind of sets the pace
Yeah.
for what's happening as well.
Yep. I think Xbox is still missing a little bit of the casual stuff, which we talked about very beginning. Um, Maybe they'll get to it. I don't know. Last time we chatted, we talked about how they have Rare and they're not using Rare for any of those, other games they've had, which are probably tied up in Nintendo licensing agreements and all other kinds of crap. But um,
I
we'll see.
I think we're gonna see something big from Rare at E3.
Oh yeah.
Um, so
So
they've been
summer
tied up
game
with
fest
Sea of
basically
Thieves.
since E3's dead.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still gonna freaking call it E3 because that's what it is.
You're right. I mean, it
But
is. It's all the same shit in just different places.
but they've been working on Sea of Thieves. I think it's time that you know Sea of Thieves is great. It just made it over to PlayStation, which I think it
Yep,
was like one of their best sellers there for a
it
while, which is
was.
also interesting. But I think so that they're also working on Perfect Dark.
Yep.
So that was something that they revealed last E3. But I think there's something else that that they'll be showing off this next E3, and maybe it might be one of those things like, hey, here's a title we've been working on for another 6 or 7 years, and boom, you have no idea. Oh, hey, guess what? It's coming out November or something. Like maybe not Ratchet and Clank, a Banjo Kazooie or something like that.
Right. That's
But
exactly right. And yeah, the new
yeah.
Perfect Dark is actually Crystal Dynamics, so it's not Rare anymore.
Oh, that's
Um,
right.
so you said
Yeah,
that, and I was like, well, yeah. And then I went, wait, no,
that's
not the new
right.
one. They did the last two, but they did not do the
That's
newest one.
right. I forgot about that. Maybe it's just being published by Rare, but
Not
Crystal Dynamics is working on it, or is this all Crystal Dynamics?
No, it just says all Crystal Dynamics. They announced
Hmm,
the initiative was partnering with Crystal Dynamics. So those two
okay.
companies. Yeah.
All right. So hey, there'll be Rare will be at next E3 with something new.
Boy, I really want them to be.
Yeah.
The Xbox just needs something like that.
Mm,
I'm currently streaming Conquer, like I said earlier, and it's like that though I miss those kinds of games so much.
Hmm.
Um, and that's the only thing that I think this needed was something just a little more light and family friendly because none of these games felt family friendly at all. Um,
Let's say that's pretty real. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
South of Midnight maybe, could be, but the
family-ish. We'll put an
ish,
ish in
yeah,
there.
yeah. The gameplay would not speak for anyone to have kids play alongside of them, but um, yeah, it's just that's the only thing right now for me. But that's just because nostalgia is a hard drug to stop. You can't quit
Yeah,
nostalgia, and that
that's true.
that takes me back. That takes me back to the days of games, and I want to see that kind of stuff. And um, but I mean, I really don't have any qualms with this developer direct overall. There's just a few things
Mm,
that didn't speak to me as much as they speak to others, which is totally fine. And
yeah.
I'm looking forward to, at some point I'm going to be popping some Ninja Gaiden in and checking it out to see
Yep.
how that thing plays. Because if I can actually get into a Ninja Gaiden game again, man, I would be super excited because I really dug the stories and the lore in the background of those. So I'm really excited to
Yep.
see if I can handle those in my old age or not.
Yeah. What? Of course you
Yeah,
can.
that's right. I can. I'm going to make sure I can.
That's
Um,
right. All you gotta do is
anything.
die 3 times, easy.
That
Then then
that's
then you
that's
get
what
the
I'm gonna
easy part
do.
this time.
I've already got that planned. Yep, I'll just give the controller to my daughter and be like, I didn't die 3 times, you did."
It's your fault.
Yeah, now I gotta play on easy. Ah, thanks. Uh, so anything coming up on the stream you wanna shout out before we get out of here today?
Let's see. More Diablo 1 this evening.
Okay,
We'll keep
nice.
keep chipping away at that. And like I said earlier in the show, like once we get on the other side of Diablo 1, then we'll start Ninja Gaiden
Yeah.
and we'll get all the way get all the way through those so we're ready for Ninja Gaiden 4 whenever that happens. They're in towards the fall. We might like do something to where we play like a couple of them, and then we maybe take a break. I don't know. I don't know if I can just sit there and just hammer them all out one after the other. We'll have to
Right.
see just how my old man heart handles that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ninja Gaiden will be next on the channel for me.
And that's gonna be Black 2 or that's gonna be OG Xbox? Like, we going to Sigma or.
Prop Probably Sigma. I'll
Okay.
look up to see if there's like if Ninja Gaiden 2 for some reason is a prequel. I'll look that up
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
so
I
that
don't know
there's
that.
continuity and storytelling.
Yeah.
But but yeah, that is the plan as of right now.
Hell yeah, right on.
How about you?
I'm gonna just keep chipping away at Conquer for sure. I wanna finish that one on stream. It's a nice little short title. He's not super long to beat that one, and I'm probably already like a quarter of the way through it really because that's a maximum. That's like an 8-hour game if you're really kind of fiddling around.
Mm,
And I've already got a couple hours into it. So the Great Mighty Pooh is about to make his appearance here coming up. So he's
ooh,
he's he's classic. Like that's the stuff I miss. I want to see more of that kind of stuff in video games. But humor and or fourth wall breaking and all of that stuff is fantastic. I mean, it's just
yeah.
it's great. It's great. If you have not played that game and I would say if you're at least like 15 or 16, your parents are cool, go play it. Go play Conquer Live and Reloaded. You probably don't have an N64, so that's okay. But play it Live and Reloaded. It's the same game, just better graphics. That's all it is, and some jokey puns at the developers for making a remaster, which is great.
Mm,
Um, that's probably it for right now. I think my wife and I are planning to sit down. I think this week we haven't picked a day yet, and we're going to do our Pixar list. So we'll be going through
mm.
all of the Pixar games or movies, and we're going to be rating them, ranking them in our list of our favorites to least favorites sort of deal. So starting with the least favorite and moving to our favorites. So you can come in and chat with us and give us your favorites as well, and your least favorites and why you disagree with us, probably.
Freaking Pixar. I'm gonna. I just want to say something
Oh, say it.
that I want to go back to the Pixar days where they didn't try to make me cry.
Oh,
That's
right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to go back to Toy Story 1 days,
Yeah, dude.
or I don't know.
One and
Just
two. Yeah.
ever since Up, it's
Right.
like, hey, wait a minute. We can we can mess everyone up. You're like, hey, let's watch the next Pixar movie. It's gonna be great, you know. And you sit down in the chair, like, all right, you know, and then you're
Yeah.
just like, you don't even get like 3 minutes into the movie, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be having a good time watching a Pixar movie. I'm crying here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toy Story 3 game. You're right. Toy Story 3, the game
Yep.
is amazing.
And you know what?
That one is amazing.
That is super ironic you mentioned it. I've been looking to get it, and they have screwed up the store so bad with the digital copies of that I think I'm just going to buy the physical copy because
Ooh,
on Xbox they have only put the or sorry, on PlayStation they have only put the PSP port over there. So it doesn't have the open
ugh,
world part of it, which is the best part of it, where you get to
yeah.
be, you know, Andy in making your own little Toy Story world.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, if since you've done that PlayStation, I'm just gonna go over and buy the 360 copy that I used to have because I still have save file and achievements and everything from where I started it. And I want my daughter to play that game too because that game is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Unbelievably good.
I'm
Super
pretty
super good.
sure I'm pretty sure that's in the digital store for on the Xbox side. I'm
Is it
pretty sure you can
okay?
get.
Okay. And
I'm
it
pretty sure.
scared me
That's
because
how
it
we
was
have ours.
oh nice. Okay, good. Then if I can
Yeah.
find it there, I'm gonna pick it up there because I went to the PlayStation. I'm like, this does not look right. And then I did just 10 minutes of research, and everybody in the world was pissed because they're like, they took the PlayStation portable version and put it on the PlayStation for the download. Why did they do that? They could have put the console version down. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that makes no sense. Um,
Big
but yeah,
misstep.
yeah, totally, totally. But yeah, I'd like to go back to Toy Story 1 and 2 as well, back in those days, Bugs Life and stuff before they
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, yeah, let's make bearded men cry in the theaters." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
bastards.
I, if I want to do that, I'll go watch. I don't know. Like, gosh, what was a terrible, awful movie that it doesn't matter. I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, yeah. Up is forever scarred me for life.
Yeah, I
Forever.
mean, yeah, one of the more, like, abrupt beginnings of a movie, and you're like,
Mm,
"No, what is going on?"
yep.
Um And as much as I love the Guardians movies, they're the same way. Like they start like immediately sad, and then it's like this kind of uplifting thing, and then like kind of another sad moment at the end.
Yep.
But yes, yes, I would agree. I would agree. We watched Toy Story 1 and 2 a lot in our home, a lot. We already watched it like 2 or 3 times here in the last like month again. So
Nice.
it's
Nice.
a constant rotation. So tune in for that if you guys like discussions on movies and stuff. We're going to be sitting down and talking about our Pixar list. Definitely coming up here shortly.
Cool.
So mix in some movies along with our video game content. But I think we're gonna call it for today, man. Again, thanks for taking an hour out of your day to come say hey and chat with me and everybody out there in Twitch.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks for having me. We'll always be ready for the call, man. This is always a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thanks to everybody in chat and everybody who tuned in and viewed today. And if you didn't catch it today, hopefully you're watching on VOD over there on YouTube. You can check us out there too. And make sure you comment, like, subscribe, do all those fun things down there. But let us know what was your game of the show and why. I'd like to get some conversation started in the comments with everybody because this was a good one. This is one worth watching out for. There's plenty of good stuff on the horizon for Xbox, I think.
Yep. Agreed.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to get out of here for today. And remember, go grab a controller and play it loud.